Welcome to Advocation X, episode number 60. Time for a newsworthy US of A broadcast sponsored by Baden Optical in beautiful Ontario, Canada. Now hit that like button and subscribe to push our content higher in the YouTube algorithm so more people get to see our content. So the topics that I wish to tackle here and now: life, death, mentality, hypocrisy. Very controversial offering we are giving up here, and the reason because of many discussions that have broken out in and around my life and area. And I wanted to make sure that I address this in a way that gives you an opportunity to think. Give it a couple extra seconds of thought over and above what you may have in the past. So, we're all familiar with the right to life movements. Right to life movement basically is telling us that we don't have the right to make that decision for other human beings. We don't have the right to make the decision to terminate a life, whether it be in the minuscule transmissions of life beginning in the womb to the time when this baby has become ready to evolve into our world. So, given that we don't have the right to make that determination, can that be extended beyond a fetus? When we look at the arguments, abortion bad, birth good. A birth to someone who was raped, good. Terminating that transaction, bad. Now, please understand, this is a topic that stirs many emotions. And one thing that I do not wish to do is make this just an emotional offering. I want this to be one of substance where people actually use their brain and think about what it is they're choosing. So on the other side of that, you have the right to choose. So the people on the right to choose side say, this is my body and I have a right to say what goes in it, what comes out of it, how that occurs, and when it occurs. And no one else should be able to make that decision for me. So basically, you can say you have the right to do everything else in your life as far as putting in or taking out of in your body other than a developing fetus. So we're looking at an exception there. So what I'm saying to both sides is bring ammunition to the table. Do not just put out your blanket thought and what you feel is right and just leave it for everybody else to try to decipher and hate each other over. Hating each other leads to what? We know there have been abortion clinics shot up and doctors killed. Doctors killed over the argument between the right to life, the right to choose. I always have had a hard time wrapping my head around the extremists on all sides of every argument. You could say, well, there's no extreme to the right to life. Well, there is no extreme to my choice to do with my body as I please. That's your opinion, and it's totally understood. Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence where there was a rule book written for human beings that say one or the other, or something totally different. I don't really care what it is. Show me what it is. Let me follow a schematic that actually does show the way. There is no reason for me to be picking a side. because none of you have the answers. If you have the answers, then please divulge them. Help the rest of society and the world to understand why your stance really, truly is the right one. Offer up your comments. Let me know what you really, really think and how deep it goes. And please, once again, this is not meant to invoke an emotional conversation that goes nowhere. What I'm asking you to do is to enlighten me. Don't enlighten each other. Enlighten me as to why your choice is the best one and what evidence you bring to the table that shows that you are right over other forms of decision making. And I will treat every offering the same as I would any other. I will listen to you. I will go through your information. I'll read whatever you submit. I will watch whatever videos you can submit. But just keep the emotion out of it. I just want the facts. Okay? So let's contrast this right to life question with the absolute adoration with inflicting death. In parts of the world and parts of the United States of America and parts of Canada and parts of many other countries, there is a faction of people who absolutely love inflicting death on other people. Hey, you smoked weed 3 times, you got caught, you got 50 years in jail, now you're doing it again? That's it, let's off this person. They're a habitual criminal, kill them right now. And the court says, well, we can't kill them right now. We have to look at this very carefully. Maybe we need a jury to look at this and see whether or not they should actually die right away. Well, then let's do it. We want them dead. And the other people are going, what are you talking about? Why do you have the right to take this life? I thought you were right to life people. Because if you support the right to life, how do you support killing another person? Or do you have certain parameters? Again, we're looking for information that helps us understand these decisions. Does it only apply to a subset of people that killing is wrong? So once, let's say, an adolescent becomes 17 years old and happens to be running away from the police and gets shot in the back 14 to 18 times, he didn't have the right to life. You had the right to inflict death because he was running away. Running away denotes fear, not aggression. If somebody is running away from a police officer, where in the rule books, show me where it says that that is a fear-inflicting circumstance? Or is it only certain adolescents? So, again, give me your information. Don't give me your emotional outbursts. They don't help in this argument or this debate or this discussion. I need to have your clear-headed, intelligent offering of facts that shows why it is okay to kill some people and not others. How can you be a right to life supporter and then support the death penalty? Now, if you're on the other side of that and you say, killing another human being is absolutely wrong, can you then support choice? The right for a woman to choose what goes on with her body inside and out? If you believe that there is absolutely no reason why anybody should have the permission to kill another human being, can you then stand on the side of choice? If you decide that no criminal, no matter how heinous, has the obligation to forfeit their life in exchange for their crime, ask yourself the question: if my world were inflicted in some of the ways that other people's worlds have been inflicted by some criminals, would I be angry enough to put them to death? Ask yourself that question honestly. Put yourself in the shoes of some others who have incurred these heinous crimes against them, or against their loved ones, or against their community. What is your submissions to help me understand that the death penalty is wrong? And equally, what are your submissions why the death penalty is right? Is there and should there be a middle ground where you can choose death for some, not for others? Who makes that determination? Who stands up and says, I am the God of whether you live or die? And if you have information that supports that, please submit it. Allow me to go through it and understand where your stance comes from. Now, let me go into something even deeper and maybe even more controversial. What is the mentality required to terminate somebody's life? What could be a reason that would make you decide that I should die? Should you not yourself be put to death just for advocating for my death? Because if somebody was to kill me, you would then be an accessory. What type of mentality does it take to actually make those kinds of decisions? I'm really seriously curious. Is it possible to be a loving, caring, sympathetic human being and say, well, because of my loving, caring, and sympathy, I want that person dead because of what they did? I'm not sure if that's how love and empathy work in our day or in any day. So what is the mentality required for decisions to support the death penalty, to support abortion, or to oppose those two stances, and to get violent enough in opposition that you would then inflict harm or death on those on the opposite side of the argument? The mentality escapes me in many, many ways. The information that I have gone through to find out what has gone on in our world in regard to these two items is astounding. It is mind-boggling to come to grips with how people make these choices. And when you hear them defend those choices, this brings me to my next topic, which is the hypocrisy exhibited by so many people on both sides of these arguments. On both sides of these arguments. We're not talking about one versus the other. I'm talking about any of you that seem to support one side or the other, but you only support it halfway, half-hearted. It's like, well, you can't kill people unless they are serial killers. Then you can kill them. You can't have an abortion unless you were raped or some other circumstance which makes it imperative that you have an abortion. Or how about you guys? You can absolutely never have an abortion. I don't care if the doctor says that you are about to die. It's a medical emergency. You will have that baby, and if it kills you both, too bad. What's your evidence for that decision? Where does it come from? Where does it come from? I want to know and understand the mentality of the people on both sides of these arguments. Because as far as I can see, there's tons of hypocrisy. You can't have an abortion, but you can kill people for doing a heinous crime. Well, you shouldn't kill people for doing a heinous crime, but it's okay to have an abortion because it's your choice. So is it okay then for me to choose to terminate another person's life after they are born? Let's examine these questions. Submit your information. Tell me, what would you do? How would you change these laws to help things? So here's something in closing. Liberty and freedom, or government mandates for everything. Which way do you lean? I can tell you one thing. This is my opinion and my opinion only. And I'm not going to try my best to inflict my opinion on you in any way, shape, or form. But as far as I'm concerned, for me as an individual, I want my liberty and I want my freedom. And I do not want the government mandating anything in my life. If you wish to suggest to me there are things that are healthier for my life and my future, that's what I would pay you for. You, as a government, should be our consultants, not your own consultants. You don't disregard what your people are telling you and just do whatever you want. You are our consultants. You mandate nothing. Your laws are subject to bending and curving based on the people you serve. That's the way the real world should be operating. Liberty and freedom for me. Whatever you choose, there's that choice again. You would need liberty and freedom to do that. If you choose government mandates, first you need to have liberty and freedom to choose that. So, all in all, I wish you all the best in these thought processes. Please submit all the information you can. I will do my best to go through all of it. And if you would like, please include in your comments that you wish me to mention your name when quoting the information that you may be submitting, and I will do my best to do that as well. As a contributor, I wish you definitely to get your accolades for the research and the time that you invest. So, everyone, please help to further our cause by hitting the like button and subscribing for future content. Become a member and crush that bell while you're at it so you miss nothing. Disclaimer, our channel is opinion based on facts and not the alternative facts type either. Questions will be answered if you're a subscribed member of this channel. However, your suggestions are more than welcome, along with your critical analysis. Leave your respectful comments in the comments section. Once again, folks, I must say, we never give up and we never give in. And remember, keep an open mind because knowledge is power. So do your research. Remain powerful. And until next time, thank you for spending time with us here on this channel. Please stay safe and healthy while doing your best to remain as happy as humanly possible. A special thanks to you all from Clyde and the crew, to all of you beautiful thinking people out there. And the shout out to our sponsors for the future will be right here.